Meanwhile, back here at home, there was a big scare at one of our country's busiest airports. A suspicious package that turned out to be a pressure cooker. Well, that forced the entire terminal at the Newark International Airport, Terminal A, to evacuate. And it happened on one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. With a heightened security presence around the country, what does that mean? Brian Yennis is live from another site with heightened security for the weekend. That's Times Square, which was targeted by a jihadist who, you may remember, tried to set off a car bomb in his van in Times Square 7 years ago. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Eric, and you'll remember 7 years ago in 2010, just 3 blocks behind me, that terrorist tried to light the device. It did light, but did not explode. Luckily, it was only because 2 street vendors alerted police that they were able to stop that situation from potentially being catastrophic. And that is really what the DHS and security forces and police officers are saying is stay vigilant out there this holiday weekend. And that's what happened yesterday at Newark Airport. Terminal A partially evacuated after a pressure cooker was found in a brown bag next to a trash can there. It was not an explosive device, but some sources telling the New York Post they are worried that perhaps this was a so-called dry run, maybe testing security, but again, not an explosive device yesterday. Meanwhile, airport security is a primary focus here this entire weekend, particularly because you'll remember the DHS set an electronic device ban, a large electronic device ban for 10 airports coming out of the Middle East, meaning all devices larger than a cell phone had to be checked. Well, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly told our Chris Wallace today that he is thinking about that they might expand that ban to include all international flights to and from the United States.
We're going to raise the bar for, generally speaking, aviation security much higher than it is now. It is a real sophisticated threat, and I'll reserve that decision until we see where it's going.
Kelly also said DHS might and likely will adopt tougher TSA screening practices nationwide. Right now, the TSA is testing tougher security procedures at 10 U.S. airports, requiring passengers to remove stuff from their luggages. DHS is concerned passengers are cramming too much into their carry-ons, making it harder to spot explosives. Now, as for fears of terrorism, given the recent headlines, it's obviously on people's minds. Listen to what one person said who was visiting Times Square earlier today.
I've been to New York several times, and I've always been impressed with the security here in New York City. I don't feel threatened by anything. I feel fine to walk amongst the crowds and crossing the streets, and there's always a visible sign of security.
And that same level of security can be seen throughout the entire country this holiday weekend. Eric?
All right, Brian, as they always tell us, if you see something, say something. That certainly happened in Newark yesterday and is good advice for all of us. Thank you.